I'm the most pampered little princess in the financial realm. My father is the wealthiest man around, my mother is a renowned fashion designer, and my sister is a celebrated actress. Everyone envies me immensely. I essentially live out the main character's role in a heartwarming novel. Then, everything changed when I was abducted. As the kidnapper was about to dismember me, he whispered into my ear, "Your family employed me for this." Care to guess which one of them? Jump ahead 5 years, and I resurrected from the dead, returning to my family's doorstep once more. Today, Aurora is receiving the Best Actress accolade, and the entertainment industry is abuzz. Every major media platform is discussing her, and she's trending wildly. Everyone praises Aurora endlessly. Since her debut, she's maintained a spotless reputation. She's gifted, an exceptional actress, and incredibly dedicated. Truly remarkable. Some observant internet users swiftly uncovered Aurora's impressive lineage, the Parker family's shining star, the Parkers of Wall Street, royalty among the elite. This year, Marcus Parker secured the top position on Wall Street's richest list. His wife Luna is a premier domestic designer, and her original fashion line is adored by the upper echelon. Moreover, the couple shares a harmonious relationship and maintains a low profile. They rarely appear at public events except for charity galas. The internet erupts once more. Everyone declares Aurora genuinely deserves the title of Wall Street's little princess, but the online community has forgotten something. They overlooked that 5 years ago, the Parkers had another daughter. Her name was Emily. After the award ceremony, it was Aurora's celebration party. She wore a breathtaking gown, flaunting her curves and standing amidst the social scene, radiating like the sun. They say fame makes you shine. 5 years since I last saw Aurora, her career has only soared, and she's become even more stunning. I'm standing barefoot outside the ballroom, looking disheveled, with reporters around me whispering about my presence. Under their scrutiny, I finally knock on the door. Maya, the Parker family's housekeeper, answers. She freezes upon seeing my face. "Are you?" I choke up and respond, "Maya, it's me." Maya examines me and gasps. Suddenly, she starts shouting excitedly, "Sir, the eldest miss is back. It's been a whole 5 years. Emily is finally back." 5 years ago, a kidnapping case shook the financial world. The victim was none other than the Parker family's princess, Emily. Typically, kidnappers target wealthy families for ransom, but this kidnapper publicly declared he wanted nothing. He broadcasted a twisted kidnapping live stream online. In a dark basement, Emily was sobbing with money stuffed in her mouth. It was like a perverse horror show. Barely holding on, Emily bit down hard, believing the Parkers would rescue her. After all, they loved her so much. In the end, the kidnapper ended the stream and revealed a secret. "Emily, you know you're adopted, right? But it was your family who hired me, so no one's coming for you. Wanna guess who? Get it right, and I'll let you live." He never allowed Emily to respond. He simply slit her throat. Even in her final moments, sweet, innocent Emily didn't shed a single tear. What was she thinking? Probably just endless despair. Her loving father, gentle mother, bubbly sister, one of them wanted her dead. Since being taken from the orphanage, she felt immense warmth from them. The Parkers provided her with a lavish lifestyle and family love. It all seemed like a beautiful dream. She was so grateful and loved them cautiously because, in reality, Emily just wanted her own family. She never imagined, never understood why the people she loved would want her dead. You're probably curious, if the real Emily died, then who am I? I was one of the viewers of that brutal stream. I was Emily's only sister before she was adopted. Back then, my name was Clara, but the day my sister died, my name became Emily. I was brought to the visitor's room. In front of me were my sister's 3 closest associates. The affluent Marcus, his wife Luna, and their younger daughter Aurora. Their eyes all fixed on me. Luna covered her mouth, her voice trembling. "Sweetheart, is it really you?" Marcus supported her, and lines of age appeared on his handsome face. Emerging from his shock, his eyes turned red. "Emily, am I seeing this correctly? Emily's back." My eyes were red, as if from crying. I clutched my clothes, unwilling to step forward. "It's me." They tried to embrace me, but I pushed them away, turning around. Tears streamed from my eyes. Dad, Mom, don't touch me. I'm tainted. What you did to me, I'm not worthy to be a Parker daughter. That sentence dragged everyone back to a sordid memory. Luna finally couldn't hold back and hugged me, sobbing quietly. Marcus raised his hand to pat my head. He softened his voice to comfort me. No matter what happened, you're always a Parker daughter. After the stream cut off, you went missing. But you're back now, and that's wonderful. As for all those unhappy times, we'll leave them behind. Luna also wiped her tears and comforted me. Sweetheart, forget about all the unhappy things. Dad and Mom always love you. I was full of tears too, hugging them as tightly as I could. What a touching and warm scene. Those words, Dad and Mom always love you, felt like a curse. If parents truly love their daughter, how could they just move on after something like this? When Clara was attacked, Marcus feared the scandal would tarnish the family's image. So he decided to handle it quietly. In less than 3 days, he discreetly sent someone to close the case, halting any further search for Clara's whereabouts. The public only knew about a missing sister, not that she had been brutally murdered. At that time, Luna's design career hit rock bottom. She used the news of her sister's disappearance to regain public attention and launched a mother-daughter themed clothing line, which became popular again. Whoever hired the kidnappers were still benefiting. To me, they're no different from those who killed my sister. It's amusing. A sudden, sharp voice interrupted. Aurora stood at a distance, watching us with a stern expression. She lit a woman's cigarette with her hand. Aren't you afraid she's a fraud? Need me to remind you someone pretended to be Emily before? If she has ulterior motives, wanting to infiltrate the Parker family, what if she exposes something later? My career would be ruined. And those reporters outside, they all captured her on camera. Instead of wasting time, think about how I'm supposed to explain this at tomorrow's press conference. In her rage, she looked nothing like the sweet, healing girl her fans adored. She gave me a doubtful look, appearing very anxious. I smirked inwardly, but outwardly I kept my head down, pretending to be scared. Sorry, should I not be here? Seeing me so distressed, Marcus frowned and scolded Aurora. Aurora, you're scaring her. I trust my instincts. She is your sister? Aurora scoffed. Sister? What if Emily's been dead long ago? My heart skipped a beat. It felt like I almost grasped something only to have it slip away. But I maintained my terrified act. Aurora shrieked piercingly. Why doesn't anyone consider my feelings? She's been missing for 5 years, but my entire career could be destroyed. A missing daughter is still a daughter. Does the one who stayed with you all these years not count? Just missing for 5 years. The suffering Clara might have endured during those years. How could she speak of it so lightly? Aurora's cold demeanor made my anger boil. I clutched my ears and instinctively recoiled. Luna harshly reprimanded, Aurora, stop it! Your sister can't handle this. We'll find out if she's the real Emily. Truth can't be faked. Suddenly, my appearance seemed to make everyone stand against Aurora. She crushed her half-smoked cigarette, her captivating eyes glaring at me with disgust. Aurora! As if recalling something, she approached. She leaned close, her smile tinged with danger. You say you're my sister, imposter? Then tell me, what did Emily used to call me? Her beautiful eyes gleamed with expectation, thinking I'd slip up. Marcus and Luna turned to me with mixed emotions. Their expressions showed incomplete trust, but this was expected. I feigned confusion. Clara, what are you talking about? Aurora's face stiffened, her expression slightly unnatural. You're definitely better than those previous fools. At least you know I changed my name. The name change in the Parker family was known to only a few. Emily and Aurora. Back then, my sister wrote letters to me, always referring to the other sister as Clara, which made me jealous for a long time. Returning to the Parker family, I had paid attention to every detail. Nicknames, no big deal. But Aurora changed her tone. Still, it's no significant feat. Don't think it'll make me believe you. I gave a wry smile. Clara, I don't understand why you're so hostile. If my return truly bothers you, I'll just leave. I got up and headed straight for the door. By then, my bare feet were covered with blisters and wounds, my legs bruised. I walked with a limp, looking quite pitiful. As I passed Marcus, I staggered, almost falling. He happened to notice my dirtied feet. That's enough, Aurora! Marcus's eyes flickered, suddenly scolding. Let your sister stay. We'll discuss the rest later. I moved back into the room that used to be my sister's. The setting seemed untouched since her time. Memories from before began flooding back. When I first arrived at the orphanage, with my combative and troublesome nature, I wasn't well liked. What did those teachers say about me? Oh, they said I had congenital emotional deprivation, called me a little monster, and told others to stay away from me. To fit in, to appear normal, I started mimicking people's micro-expressions, observing and learning their ways. I thought I hid it well, but I was exposed. One day, the class's pet hamster was found dead. When the teacher asked, no one confessed. Everyone was scared and crying. Except me, I showed no emotion. When the teacher questioned, no one admitted anything. Everyone was scared and crying. Except me, I displayed no emotion. Based on that alone, the teacher accused me. I said, I didn't do it. The teacher yelled, a cold-hearted monster like you, always lying. Who else could it be? My sister stepped up. She bravely defended me and said we were on duty together the entire day, and I didn't kill the hamster. It turns out being strongly supported feels like this. So much so that when my sister asks my name, I instinctively told the truth. No one had ever given me a name. All right, from now on, I'll call you Clara, kind-hearted Clara. I'm Emily. I'll be your sister from now on. She squatted down, helped me dry my hands, and told me seriously, Clara, you're not a monster. It's just that when the gods kissed your forehead, they forgot to tell you it was love. Her explanation was so beautiful. I stood there feeling a strange, dull pain in my chest. I actually lied to her. I did kill that hamster. Its owner kept using that little beast to bully me, letting it crawl into my clothes and scratch my skin. I was angry, so I destroyed it. Emily became my sister, the only shackle for this monster. From then on, I never had any violent thoughts toward anyone or anything. I clumsily learned from my sister how to love this world. Now, my sister is gone, which means my shackle is broken too. But without my sister, wasn't I a monster all along? The next day, my name unexpectedly hit #1 on trending. I looked at the comments and smirked. The Parker family thought money could solve everything, but they forgot there are some paparazzi, just as crazy as me, who don't want money, just fame. I contacted them beforehand, which is why I chose to show up at the Parkers yesterday. Whether I'm the real Emily or not, if someone snapped a picture, the story of the Parker's daughter returning would spread like wildfire. The bigger the fuss outside, the more likely the Parkers are to keep me. On the other hand, Aurora was furious about missing the limelight. Her anger even spilled over at the dinner table. She said with a sour face, Dad, you said you'd sort everything out for me. Marcus calmly wiped his mouth. I told you I didn't agree with you going into showbiz. I wanted you to properly take over the family business, but you chose the opposite. And what happened? Every time something comes up, you can't handle it and need family help. Aurora pouted and remained silent. Seeing this, Marcus softened his tone and reassured her. All right, it's just a few viral videos. Once the online buzz dies, it's nothing. Besides, your mother has already made arrangements with the magazines. You're on the covers for August and September. Being on the covers of 2 magazines is the ultimate honor for actresses. This promise was enough to make Aurora beam with joy. She cheered, Oh yeah, I love Dad and Mom. But what about my sister? Since your sister's back, she has to appear in the public eye sooner or later. It makes no difference in timing, Marcus interrupted. The important thing is the timing of your sister's appearance. He truly embodied that saying. Businessmen always prioritize profit. No matter what, Marcus always considers how to maximize benefits first. Aurora asked reluctantly, Then what about today's press conference? I held the knife and fork in my hand and shyly spoke up. Actually, I have an idea. Marcus and Aurora looked at me in surprise. Aurora's press conference went as planned, but this time, there was a new face present. Right now, the Parker sisters were both wearing gowns designed by Luna, looking like beautiful dolls. Aurora affectionately hugged me by the shoulder. We looked just like real sisters. I held the microphone, stood on the stage, and slowly spoke. Hello, everyone. I'm Emily. There have always been many rumors online about me. The most absurd is probably that I disappeared. Today, I'm here to clarify. I didn't disappear. I was studying abroad for 5 years and just returned yesterday. Back then, there were 12 viewers on that live stream, besides me hacking into the Parkers' computer. Others were all high society elites from Wall Street and also Marcus's friends. Because of this, he could keep them quiet and not leak any information for years. I smiled and continued. However, I still want to thank everyone. It's precisely because of everyone's concern that the Parkers realized there's a special group of missing children. So, the Parkers established a new charity fund in Aurora's name to help missing children. We aim to assist every family looking for their kids. Meanwhile, Aurora raised her hand gracefully and unveiled the red cloth behind us. Stellar Charity Foundation. As these grand words appeared dramatically, Aurora's gentle voice echoed, "Every lost child is a fallen star." The atmosphere in the crowd soared to its peak. Everyone was moved by Aurora's words, some even shedding tears. Applause thundered through the room. This spectacle of capitalism reached its climax. Marcus and Luna sat in the audience, watching me with approving smiles. Aurora excitedly hugged me. She joyfully called me her sister. "Sis, you're a PR genius. If you hadn't told me, I would have believed you were studying abroad for 5 years. I smiled outwardly, but felt stung by Aurora's last words. If my sister were still alive, she would have had a brilliant life these past 5 years too. Sister, this is just the beginning. After all, people fall harder when they reach the top, right? As soon as the Stellar Charity Project was announced, the Parker family's stock skyrocketed. Even Aurora's Facebook followers surged by tens of thousands, making her the most stable rising star. The relationship between the Parker family and me visibly grew closer, especially Aurora. She's clearly starting to trust me more. She invites me for shopping and sometimes even asks for my opinion on her projects. I presented a few ideas to her and she couldn't stop praising them, implementing them right away. Little did they know, during all these years of staying low, I've been collecting every bit of information about the Parker family online and building a database. I know them better than they know themselves. How could I not devise a plan that would satisfy Aurora? She even hinted at wanting me on her team. After all, Marcus was initially against her entering the entertainment industry, and Aurora is eager to prove herself to him. I expressed my reluctance. "What, Dad wants you to intern there? HMPA, with so many high-achieving elite folks over there, why is he stealing my people?" Aurora was fiddling with something, venting about Marcus's authoritarian ways. I noticed she was holding a small bottle of pills. "Aurora, what's up with those pills?" "Oh, it's nothing, just something to boost my energy. I'm always so tired." Aurora avoided eye contact, clearly not being truthful. I didn't push further, but was curious. I never heard my sister mention anything about Aurora being unwell. Why would she need supplements if she's fine? Aurora was about to say something when her phone suddenly rang. She saw who it was, frowned, and walked away, deliberately avoiding me. I wisely stayed put. Soon, Aurora suddenly raised her voice. "What did you say? He's dead." Realizing her outburst, she quickly shut up. Even after hanging up, her beautiful face was pale as a sheet. Aurora paced around anxiously, opened that milky white bottle, poured out a few tablets, and swallowed them quickly. I watched it all, smiling softly. That day, Aurora was clearly off. Until dinner time, when the Parkers gathered at the table, Luna handed me an envelope. Inside were forged documents of a fabricated 5-year study abroad experience and a brand new ID, all to cover up the lies from the press conference, crafted flawlessly by the Parker family. They used your old photos for the student files, afraid someone might find them out. Look at you at 18. You seemed chubbier than now, so cute. She smiled warmly as if recalling fond memories. Yeah, pretty cute. I thanked her with a smile, gently rubbing that small photo. Because it was Emily, it was adorable no matter what. Does being cute matter? Being chubby is just an excuse to comfort oneself? Aurora suddenly interrupted. She snidely remarked, "Being pretty is what makes people like you." Aurora nonchalantly turned on the TV, deliberately setting the volume high. Breaking news. This morning, police found a male corpse in East Park. Identity currently unknown, but when discovered, there were numerous bills scattered around. She slightly paused, holding the remote. Aurora switched channels. Marcus, who hadn't spoken all along, suddenly said, "Turn it back. Dad, we're eating." Hearing this kind of news is disgusting. She pouted, trying to sound cute. Even Luna chimed in to support her, smiling apologetically. Honey, the kids have a point, I said. Turn it back. Marcus put down his chopsticks, his face emotionless. He didn't show anger, but the mother and daughter instantly fell silent. I could sense their fear of Marcus. The so-called perfect Parker family seemed shattered at that moment. We finished watching that news clip under this awkward tension. Marcus's face turned grim as he switched off the TV. Aurora gripped her dress tightly. Dad, come to my study? Meanwhile, I kept eating calmly, as if I didn't hear anything, because I knew who the dead man was. The man known as Victor. I was the one who killed him, just like what Victor did to my sister back then. I made him suffer in agony and beg before finally ending his life. In his last moments, he shivered, and I was so thrilled that I trembled all over. Before he died, I gently wiped away his fearful tears, softly saying, "Make sure you go to hell. Otherwise, it will upset her if she sees you in heaven." Actually, if the police paid enough attention, they'd find my little surprise. The $13 bills next to the body. Every single serial number matched those found next to my sister's body back then. Victor's death was a carefully crafted bait by me. It was also the first gift I'd prepared for the Parker family. After dinner, I went back to my room and locked the door. Took out my hidden laptop, quickly put on headphones, and adjusted the signal. Voices from Marcus's study came through the earpiece. "Aurora, did you kill Victor?" My heart started pounding uncontrollably. "It wasn't me," Aurora defended herself furiously. "Dad, I admit, it was wrong to have Victor kidnap Emily back then, but I already confessed my mistake. I also promised I wouldn't make a wrong move again. Now I'm in the public eye. Why would I commit murder?" Just as I had suspected, my hands clenched tightly into fists. The room echoed with the sharp sound of a slap. Marcus yelled, "Useless! If you just thought a bit back then, it wouldn't have blown up like that. I reported it to the police because you wouldn't tell the truth, almost dragging the Parker family into it." "How dare you bring it up?" Luna was super eager to plead for Aurora. "At least with Victor gone, that's a good thing. Back then we showered Emily with too much attention. Aurora's our real daughter, so it's no wonder she felt unbalanced. She's been through a lot. Don't be so harsh on her." I recall Marcus's first fortune came with the help of Luna's family. Even though Luna's not as influential now, my sister always spoke of the Parkers as a loving couple. Something feels off. Maybe there's more to the Parker family than I know. I slowly turned up the volume. When did this bastard child become my daughter? What? What? Aurora seemed stunned. Marcus sneered. "You should know better than me how this kid came to be." Luna tried to keep her voice steady. "I don't understand what you're saying. A year ago, Aurora got hurt filming an action scene and needed a blood transfusion. Do you need me to explain further, or should I let everyone know I've been played for a fool?" It dawned on her why her husband's attitude had changed drastically over the past year. She thought all this time she hadn't been doing enough to keep him happy. Turns out, it was this. Marcus always put profit first, and now Luna and Aurora's value was just maintaining the Parker family facade. After a long silence, Aurora broke down, crying out hysterically, "No, I am Dad's daughter, Mom, you're lying, right?" The other side of the wiretap fell into chaos. This unexpected turn of events left me reeling, but also thrilled. See, fate has a funny way of being fair. It gave the Parkers a daughter only to take one away because of their vile hypocrisy. There's a sense of karma in the air. I was satisfied as I turned off the signal. Maybe it's time to pick up the pace, humming a little tune as I tapped away on my keyboard to send a message. "Aurora, I've made up my mind. I'm willing to join your team. Get ready for my second gift. Dear Aurora, taking down the Parkers won't be easy, but people are just complex social animals, which means everyone has their own Achilles heel. Like Aurora, who's out of cards to play, the calmer I appear, the more threatened she feels. I'll casually mention how Marcus relies heavily on me and how I'm not eager to work for the Parker Company. Aurora's getting more anxious, and her addiction to those pills is worsening. She seems to pop them like candy whenever she feels low. Yet Aurora never fails to throw some snark at me. When that happens, I'd look at her innocently. Aurora, genetically speaking, you're the true Parker daughter. How could an outsider like me ever compete with you?" She'd pause, mumbling to herself. "You're right. I am the real daughter of the Parkers, so no matter how clever you try to be, you'll never replace me." Aurora still doesn't realize what her situation really is. But that's okay. Her new show's press conference is right around the corner. Today marks Aurora's first major lead role since winning Best Actress. With loads of media and fans in attendance, she's put her all into it, maybe for another reason. She's eager to make Marcus see her worth. The venue was aglow with lights, making the place glitter like Aurora's dreams for her career. The new Best Actress Aurora took the stage, radiant in a cheongsam. During the kanda, she smiled gently. "All right, I'll start drawing lots. Let's see who the lucky first questioner of today is." She reached into the box, number 24. Everyone turned, searching for the person holding number 24. A reporter raised his hand, took the microphone, and asked, "Miss Aurora, do you know Mr. Victor?" Up on stage, Aurora's smile froze. "Sorry, I don't know him. Have you followed the East Park case from a few days ago? Victor is the deceased in that case." Her face darkened. "Please refrain from asking irrelevant questions." But the audience was already buzzing, murmuring and speculating about Victor's connection to Aurora. "Aurora, you're sweating a lot. Why is that?" Aurora turned around, startled. I stood backstage, just a few steps away, smiling at her. Questions from the floor continued. "A few days ago, we received anonymous tips suggesting you've had significant financial transactions with Victor and even met him offline." Aurora steadied herself, answering, "Oh, now that you mention it, he was a fan of mine. And we did meet once before." She covered her mouth, feigning sorrow. "Oh my, I can't believe this happened to him." The reporter raised the microphone for a final, piercing question. The anonymous tipper also claimed Victor was the mastermind behind an old kidnapping case. "Is your financial transaction and meeting related to this incident?" Aurora, drenched in sweat, stood on stage. I watched her struggling form. Today, Aurora's cheongsam was designed by Luna, embroidered with butterflies ready to soar. Now, Aurora's slight trembling looked as if those butterflies were lifeless, fighting death. Let's rewind to 3 days ago. I contacted the paparazzi I used to work with. I just asked her one thing. If there's a story that's going to blow up the entertainment industry, would she dare to take it? That's how everything happened today. I don't know where you heard those rumors, but I can tell you clearly there's nothing like that. She asked, flustered. "Do you have any evidence?" The moment Aurora finished talking, all the lights went out. Even the curtain above us dropped, isolating us from the audience's view. People started murmuring, wondering why the power went out. I walked up to Aurora, turned off her microphone, and lightly caressed her neck. Aurora looked at me with a chill in her eyes. "Hey, Emily, why are you touching me?" My cold fingers lingered on Aurora's throat. "Yeah, right here." She quickly pushed me away. I gently traced her skin, slowly tightening my grip. "You had Victor kidnap me back then, and his knife landed right here. I was cut into pieces, blood everywhere. For every day and night over these 5 years, every time you appeared on TV, I thought of that day." "Clara, it really hurts, sis." I suddenly tightened my grip. "What do you think, sis? How should I punish you? Are you a ghost or a person? Get away." Aurora's beautiful face twisted in fear. She suddenly realized something. "So, you were the one sending those emails." She was right. For 5 years, every time Aurora won an award, she'd receive my congratulatory email. It contained the footage of that kidnapping livestream. When Victor killed my sister, Aurora was absent from the scene because she was terrified. She was trying to dodge the issue, hoping to downplay her guilt. Even though each time I sent those videos, it felt like I was tormenting myself. I wanted to leave my sister's mark on her every happy day. Aurora couldn't forget what she had done. I became a nightmare that'd cling to her forever. What's more, I always included my most sincere wishes. "Dear Aurora, hurry and become a big star." Aurora, standing before me now, clearly struggled to control her emotions. She started flipping through her clothes for her meds, but froze. She was in a cheongsam today. No meds on her. I sighed. If your fans knew what you were really taking, do you think they'd still like you? With my constant jabs, Aurora's breathing got heavier as she gripped my arm. "No, please." Suddenly, she dropped to her knees. "Emily, I'm sorry. Please help me figure out how to get through today. I can't lose everything." "All right, I'll help you." I smiled, pulling a small vial from my pocket. I emptied the pills onto the floor. In the dark, Aurora ignored everything, stuffing them into her mouth like they were treasures. Finally, I pressed the tiny remote control in my hand. The large curtain in front of us lifted. The lights suddenly flooded the entire venue. At that moment, everyone saw Aurora hunched on the floor, mouth slightly open, her movement strange. The crowd gasped, pulling out their phones to record. Whoa, record this quick. Big news, grab some popcorn. I want to break the first headline just like that cruel live stream back then. Now, Aurora's embarrassing dog-like posture, her desperate swallowing on stage, is spreading everywhere. I stood amid her ruins, turning away from the crowd, silently telling her, "Dear Aurora, you finally made it as a big star. Oh, by the way, today's act should earn you another Best Actress award." Aurora's situation blew up across the internet. She's not just a murder suspect now. She's a drug-abusing actress taken by the police for questioning. Marcus came to see me, which didn't surprise me. But as soon as I entered the study, I sensed something was off. Marcus didn't look pleased. "Dad," I stood respectfully. Marcus raised his hand and threw a document in front of me. "Anything you'd like to explain?" It was a DNA test report. The name Emily was written for the tested person, but the results showed my DNA didn't match with Emily at all. This meant that Marcus figured out I was a fake. Marcus really was a sly fox. I kept my face neutral, but my mind raced, thinking about how to deal with this. The revenge isn't over. This can't be discovered now. Got it. I stuffed the report back into the folder. After a pause, I slowly spoke. "Dad, I'm not Emily." Marcus smirked, probably not expecting me to admit it right away. "Who are you? What's your purpose for infiltrating the Parker family?" He moved from behind the desk, gradually approaching me, and firmly grabbed my neck. Air was gradually leaving my chest, and I forced myself to breathe. "I'm Clara's good friend from the orphanage." Marcus raised his eyebrows, looking surprised. "Ever since the day Clara got adopted by the Parkers, I've always been jealous of her, so I deliberately got close to her, built a good relationship, all just to take her place one day." My face started changing color. I held Marcus's hands tightly, forcing broken words from my throat. Marcus watched me with interest. "Go on." I slumped to the ground, clutching my neck. "If you don't believe me, you can check my records at Angel Orphanage. I'm telling the truth." There was a hint of approval in his eyes. "You have no leverage, so why are you negotiating with me?" I smirked, meeting Marcus's gaze without fear. I've had enough of being broke, and I'll admit I'm vain. I just want money. Maybe my motives for standing here aren't too different from those imposters before me, but I'm the only one who made it this far, right? Of course. I didn't reveal my real reason, considering that neither of his daughters are his own. Marcus would definitely cut ties with Aurora and choose me, given his nature. I have to thank the Parker family's last-in, first-out policy for that insight. No matter your place in the family or blood relation, everything boils down to an exchange of interest to them. Looks polished on the outside, but truly bare underneath. That's the survival rule in high society. Aurora saw through it, but still wished for love from this twisted soil. I'm more aware than her. Only relationships with vested interests make them feel secure and comfortable. Marcus chuckled softly, showing a suddenly paternal face. "Emily, you've improved a lot these 5 years. Welcome home, darling." With Marcus's trust regained, I seem to have replaced Aurora as the Parker family's tool for appearances. We appeared together in public, like the closest family trio. When asked about Aurora, Marcus would always mournfully declare that he wouldn't shield her if she made a mistake and would let her face the consequences. His words always carried hints. He knew how to manipulate the media, making them his powerful mouthpiece. Public opinion shifted in his favor, painting him as a poor father dragged down by his daughter. I couldn't help but laugh at those ridiculous comments. Is Marcus a dog, front leg, or hind leg? It makes no difference. And the truth showed he was indeed a dog. Aurora faced a public investigation, but privately, Marcus had someone pull her out, claiming mental health issues. He asked for my input. I suggested sending Aurora to a Parker-owned convalescent home. More accurately, it's a mental hospital. Even if she went genuinely mad there, it wouldn't matter because no one cares anymore. The only one who might still care is her biological mother, Luna. Luna would sneak to visit Aurora, pretending nothing happened even after crying her eyes out, but I'm aware of her hatred towards me. I feigned ignorance of her venomous looks while silently counting down to an approaching date. After so many years, Financial Circle Princess Emily's birthday party was once again a hot topic. Emily, at this party, I'll announce you're in charge of the Star Seeking Project. It's your first stage. Don't disappoint me. Recalling Marcus's promise, I chuckled. He wanted to show me trust, but also held on tightly. Still, it was enough. For this birthday event, I only prepared 12 VIP spots, keeping the plan hush-hush and media-free. The seats would be auctioned within the circle. The highest bidders would attend. Marcus approved of my approach. After all, the wealthy love this kind of money game. Being part of such a spectacle is like a status symbol. At that moment, the affluent crowd entered the banquet hall, laughing and chatting in their gorgeous outfits. They handed over phones and received their party masks, as per the rules. The party was about to begin when a flustered Luna showed up. "Honey, Mom almost ran late. I'm so sorry." I noticed the sweat on her forehead, knowing exactly why she was late, but I smiled anyway. "Mom, don't worry about me because I'm not your own daughter." Luna paused mid-mask. "What are you talking about? I was just a little late, that's all. Or do you now feel bold enough to teach me, since you've got backing?" Her demeanor turned ice cold, her mask slipping. I took the mask from Luna, smiling more sweetly. "I was joking, Mom. Don't get mad." Looking at Luna's hostile eyes, my thoughts drifted to my sister. Whenever she talked about family, her voice couldn't hide the happiness. My sister used to say, "Clara, today I tasted Mom's soup for the first time." I couldn't help but cry when I picked up the bowl. That's what having parents feels like. You don't need to earn love. They give it unconditionally. Thanks for loving me. I want to make them proud. My naive sister. She had no idea the gifts had a hidden price, costing her life. I suddenly asked Luna a question. "Mom, do you remember the chicken soup you made me when I first came to the Parkers?" Luna froze, then mocked. "You've surely gathered a lot for a fake. Did that orphan tell you she really trusts you? All right, I'll be honest with you. I've never really cooked a meal myself. Back in the day, seeing that kid get all emotional over a bowl of chicken soup was something." She laughed so hard tears were rolling down her face. The chicken soup was what was left after feeding the dog. Who knew she'd think it was something special? Honestly, some people are just born low. Even if they're adopted into a wealthy family, they're low at the core. Her voice got stuck in her throat. I looked down at the knife in my hand. Luna covered the long scar on the corner of her mouth, screaming, "Emily, you're insane!" I responded coldly, "Are you done talking? A traitor to your own partner has the nerve to call someone else low. It wasn't that she was unfit for your filthy family. It was your family unfit for her." Tears blurred my vision. I saw Luna's hands as she suddenly smirked menacingly. "What are you gonna do?" I just lifted my heel and pressed down. Luna let out a blood-curdling scream. "Mom, I'm wearing that mother-daughter themed dress you designed back then today. Do I look good in it?" "Too bad before I ruin your hands. You can't tailor the perfect funeral clothes for your own daughter and husband. It's truly a pity." I gracefully lifted my dress when I was done. Looking at Luna passed out cold, I spoke with regret. When the party kicked off, Marcus mingled among the elites, gradually heightening the atmosphere. The clock struck 7, and I changed into a bright red dress, made my way onto the stage, and raised a glass to speak. "Thank you all for coming to my birthday party. 5 years ago, everyone gathered here like this to witness my sister's kidnapping live." I smirked, eyeing those 12 familiar faces below. That's right, today, I've gathered all 12 who watched my sister along with Marcus and Luna under the guise of a birthday bash. No one knew how long I'd waited for this day. After the live stream got cut, you must have been curious about what happened. Victor murdered her brutally. Aurora hired him, but those who dropped the case and profited, they're all here today. Marcus's face twisted as he yelled from below, "Emily, what nonsense are you speaking?" He discovered he couldn't even lift a hand, slumped over in his chair. The other guests shared his struggle, horrified to find the same. "Because I spiked the drinks." "And what about you?" "Just a bunch of onlookers. Some laughed in front of the camera. Some secretly saved the footage to reminisce or satisfy their own desires." I calmed down, but my voice edged sharper. "Why do all of you get to move forward with your lives while my sister is frozen at 20? That's not fair. You all deserve to die." I approached Marcus first, probably the first time I've seen such shock on his face. "Who are you?" I softly replied. Clara?" He dumbly repeated the name. After a while, he said, "Clara, isn't that Emily's original name?" I picked up the knife nearby, answering patiently, "You got it wrong, she wasn't Clara." Honestly, I didn't lie about meeting her at the orphanage, which is why you couldn't dig up anything on me. The only lie was, I never envied her. I wanted her to be happier than anyone in the world. And initially, when you drew straws, you picked me. Nostalgia overwhelmed me. I thought I was being clever, thinking I could give her a good life by swapping our names. I finally broke down crying. Yeah, it was my supposed bright idea that doomed my sister. All these years, what carried me on this long path of revenge, besides hate, was infinite guilt. If I could, I wish it were me who died. I could never forgive those who treated her cruelly, nor could I forgive myself, who, in the name of love, dragged her to hell. Murder is my dark redemption. The air became saturated with the smell of gasoline, and with it, the scent of something burning grew stronger. The fuel, which I prepared earlier, was working as planned. I wiped my tears, softly humming a tune as I started counting. 1 cut, 2 cuts, 3 cuts. None were fatal, but they were enough to make Marcus wish for death. He pleaded through tears. "Clara, spare me. I'll give you a lot of money. Didn't you say you were done with hardships? I can send you overseas." I frowned in annoyance, gesturing for him to quiet down. "Sure, keep it down. If it gets out, Parker family stocks might plummet again." Swiftly, I made the final cut. Marcus gasped his last, eyes wide open, dead. Out of the group of guests, a familiar face staggered forward. "Emily, I'll kill you." Aurora's furious face appeared in my sight. She came at me with a weapon, backlit by flames. I chuckled. I figured Luna would sneak Aurora in no matter what. Good. It's finally coming to an end. I looked up at the moon outside the window, feeling a peace I hadn't in ages. "Sister, if I turn to ash tonight, find me first in your next life." The ending. It's been almost a year since the horrendous fire at the Parkers' house. 15 people died in that blaze. Word is the Parkers' eldest daughter just happened to give all the staff the day off, so all the victims were big shots from the elite circles of North Chicago. Rumor has it Aurora, the Parker family's second daughter, went crazy after a scandal. She supposedly escaped from the police station, committed murders at a birthday party, and then burned down her own house. In the end, she perished in the fire, too. The only survivor was Emily, the tough and decisive eldest daughter of the Parker family. Funny enough, even as the sole heir, Emily had no plans to rebuild the Parker legacy. Instead, she donated all the assets, claiming she wanted to give back to society. All Emily kept was the Starseek charity project, which she renamed Kindness. She said that's the only thing she wanted to do. In the following years, Emily seemed to vanish, keeping a low profile. Occasionally, people heard how the Pure Kindness Foundation helped reunite families with lost children and set up many kindness orphanages. Everyone said Emily was a good person, but no one really knew. Back then, Emily knew Clara had killed a little hamster, but she still reached out to Clara, who was all thorns, wanting to be her sister. Emily wanted to heal her, to save her. She wanted to pull Clara out from her muddy hell and slowly bring her into the light because Emily believed there's no such thing as people and monsters. Love, she thought, is the gentlest remedy.